We'll be doing another reading from this. I think this is the most insightful thing I've ever read about philosophy, ethics, how to run a society. Except there must be something better written about individuality versus the collective. It's a more important topic. It is not, however, covered here, but get a load of this. Ultimately, there are but three systems of ethics, three conceptions of the ideal character and the moral life. One is that of Buddha and Jesus, which stresses the feminine virtues, considers all men to be equally precious, resists evil only by returning good, identifies virtue with love, and inclines in politics to unlimited democracy. This book was finished in like 1937, so that was his opinion back then. So what we've got now is a politics that does not agree with unlimited democracy, but that does stress the feminine virtues, considers all men to be equally precious unless they're white, resists evil only by returning good. Okay, that's not quite the same either, is it? Because now what you've got is kind of good things being returned with evil. Identifies virtue with love, unless it's white men, and inclines to politics to unlimited democracy. So drawing a parallel between this and the contemporary situation is not that easy. This was written in 1936. There's no way he could have imagined today's situation. So let's just do it again. Ultimately, there are but three systems of ethics, three conceptions of the ideal character and the moral life. One is that of Buddha and Jesus, which stresses the feminine virtues, considers all men to be equally precious, resists evil only by returning good, identifies virtue with love, and inclines in politics to unlimited democracy. Another is the ethic of Machiavelli and Nietzsche, which stresses the masculine virtues, accepts the inequality of men, relishes the risks of combat and conquest, identifies virtue with power, and exalts an hereditary aristocracy. Wow. If you want to understand the difference between a Nazi and a communist, it's probably the easiest way would be to say that communists, around the time that this was written, believed in racial unity and were nationalists, and communists were internationalists. That's basically the difference. Moving forward today, it's become all about identity politics. And I think that, to put it in the simplest way, the modern wokey wants weak borders and even weaker men. And that's what they're building. So there's the ethic of Machiavelli and Nietzsche, which stresses the masculine virtues, accepts the inequality of man, relishes the risks of combat and conquest and rule, identifies virtue with power, and exalts an hereditary aristocracy. Okay, now here is the absolutely phenomenal thing about this. Because the third option was created before Jesus lived, and about 2,000 years before, more than 2,000 years before Nietzsche, the sort of I guess you could say he was the philosopher king behind fascism. If somebody calls you a Nazi, you just say, "I'm not a Nazi, I'm not German." Nazis were just German fascists. Okay, so this, you did not see this coming. So, I want to just go through it again. I've only been here for 5 minutes. Ultimately, there are but 3 systems of ethics, 3 conceptions of the ideal character and the moral life. One is that of Buddha and